Hey guys! Before we get started, I need to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode. We do talk about suicide, so if that is something that makes you uncomfortable or is a trigger point, please decide accordingly if this is an episode that you should listen to. If this much bad is possible, well, hell, there has to be that much good possible too then. And that's what I started doing. I would fantasize about what my reconstructed life would look like. Welcome to The Onion Peel, a show where we get real, raw, and honest about life. It's a space where authenticity lives and hope resides. The Onion Peel is a place where we peel back the layers of our stories and discover the unexpected flavoring that each one brings. Hey guys, I'm your host and semi-crazy Christian, Angela McConnell. I'm a middle-aged mom of 5 with a dead husband, and I've been through some shit in my life. Now, I'm on a mission to bring hope to the world. So join me as we journey through this onion and find hope in the tears. You ready to peel this thing? Hey guys! It's time for another episode of The Onion Peel. How's everybody doing? We're pretty much all back open now, which I'm super excited about. Our final things opening are on Monday. And yeah, it's good. It seems like things are getting back to quote unquote normal. Of course, it's never going to be the same, but you can at least go out to eat now, go to the store, all that stuff. So yeah, I hope everybody's transitioning well. So, I like to just kind of get into these. Today, I'm going to talk about my wedding anniversary. I'm going to share a journal entry that I wrote on the actual day of our first wedding anniversary since Don's death. And I'm going to actually share that fairly quickly, and then we're going to kind of discuss it. But a couple things that I just want to address right off the top. I do mention medication in this journal entry, and I just want to be clear that I'm not against antidepressants or think that they're bad or anything. You do what you need to do. I am sharing from my experience of a previous time in my life when I had been on an antidepressant, and this particular one that I was on that was the best for me also just really altered me. The thing about it was, though, that it just completely turned me into a zombie. Maybe I had too high of a dosage. I don't know. But that memory that I have of the one time that I was on it was just that I completely zoned out and I had no emotions about anything. I was just extremely numb, which is what I know they kind of do anyways. But I just wanted to put that baseline that for me, that's how I remember being on them. So when I mention that in my journal entry, that will make more sense to you. But again, if you're on them, you need them, whatever, that totally is your gig. Support you 100%, whatever you got to do. The other thing that I would like to mention before I read this entry is that if you've listened to all my episodes or a handful of my episodes, you know that we discuss a lot of emotions. So one episode might be filled with a little bit more laughter. Another one might be filled with a little bit more darkness. Or another one could just be more intense. But that is because that is what processing your hurt looks like. When you're analyzing what is causing you pain, and when you're really taking a look and wanting to actually walk out your grief, it is a very emotionally inconsistent process. But the important thing is that you just keep walking forward through it. So you will hear that in this entry, that 1 minute I was feeling good, the next minute I wasn't. And honestly, it can feel a little maddening, where you just feel like you're going crazy because your emotions are all over the place at the drop of a hat. And I can tell you, for me, I was like that for years. Many years. And I learned as time went on to just accept it and to just be in what I was feeling. It doesn't mean that my feelings got to win over my behavior. What it meant was that I was going through something in my mind, in my soul, in my heart, and that I had to allow that to come out so that I could let it have its say, because sometimes parts of you just need to be heard before they'll allow you to move forward. So, I'm going to read my journal entry for my first wedding anniversary without my husband. Happy anniversary. It has been an exhausting 8.5 months since you died, and I have given my best to God and the kids. But I'm afraid my best is useless. I am definitely doing no one any favors by being here on this earth, not even God. My soul is nearly dead, and I am out of options. I do not have the luxury of waiting on the Lord and His perfect timing. And I do believe whatever He had in store would have been beautiful. But alas, my fleshly body will never see that day. I held hope for a brief few weeks. I actually walked in it. Its warmth and optimism was soothing to my war-torn soul. In those weeks, fear was defeated and I was free, for the first time in my life. I actually believed me and the kids were not just going to survive this hell on earth, but that we were going to thrive in it. Laugh in Satan's face as we used our suffering for God's gain. Those weeks taught me to dream, to imagine a life with fulfillment and laughter and rebirth. I never allowed myself to dream before that time. But I learned that dreams can fuel our hearts and energize our souls. Dreams are exquisite. Even now, writing about them, I feel their presence wanting in to help me escape my fortified reality, to give me the hope that I crave so desperately. But even my dreams have now been taken by darkness. I fantasize about being gone from here, from this place of pointlessness. My soul is nearing its last breath. Oh, how this world hurts so. I know my God is here with me, but I am too concrete in my feelings to abide in Him any longer. So I resign. I will settle as the rest settles, never seeing abundance or restoration. Forgive me, I didn't have the stamina to wait. I tried. Oh, how I tried. You saw my efforts. But my sin-filled nature won out. I'm so sorry. I must persevere in my existence for my children's sake. They're what will keep me breathing and functioning. I have to say goodbye to who I am because she is so weak that she is further damaging her children. Please forgive me for not being able to sustain for you. Taking a gun to my head is not an option at the present time, although it is now where I spend most of my days dreaming. So in lieu of physical death, I choose personality death. Death of the soul through medication. It is the only way to survive, by numbing my existence in this world, to free my children from the monster their mother is becoming, to free the earth of me and my passions. Forgive me. Maybe someday we can get this ship righted, but for today, I need to save my children from drowning. So it's time to throw this ugly beast overboard and let the darkness of the deep bury her away, allowing the precious cargo on board a fighting chance to float. I didn't give up on you, God. I gave up on me. So there it is. Happy flippin' anniversary. You know, as I read that, I was just in a state of melancholy. I had resigned to the fact that I had to stay breathing on this earth for my kids because I knew that if I killed myself, that they would never have a chance of recovery from that. So my mission was to get my kids through the pain of the loss of their dad, to help them to grow into healthy-minded adults who had a resolve with what happened in their life and used it for the good of the world. But the conundrum was that, how do I do that without me, and I'm talking about the essence of me, being there? Because I just felt like I was this horrible mother. My emotions were all over the place. I felt like I was going crazy. My behavior as a mom was just unpredictable. I'd cry, I'd yell, I'd sleep. It was just very erratic. And I just really began to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm really just making things worse for my kids. Me being me is doing them no favors. In fact, what it's really doing is causing more damage to who they are. I just began to beat myself up over it, and I knew that I had to find a way to fix it somehow. And since death wasn't an option, even though that was my first choice, for, probably the first 2 years after Don died, to be honest with you. That was my go-to. That's where I would spend hours fantasizing about actually taking my own life, because it just brought me peace to think about it. It brought me such peace. But it wasn't an option. So all I had left was to zone myself out, to become a zombie. Because if I was going to be a monster, then I wanted to at least be a monster that was ineffective versus detrimental. And I just knew from my past that when I had been on this particular antidepressant that they actually gave me again when Don died, that this will be better. And it'll be the perfect way for me to erase myself from hurting them anymore without actually erasing myself from existence. It's interesting what goes through your mind when you have such intense pain that you're dealing with, especially if that pain directs itself into self-hatred. So as I sit here and reread and listen to what I wrote, to be honest, it sounds nonsensical and overly dramatic. But at the time, that was what my truth was. I knew without a doubt that by me simply breathing, I was further ruining my children. Now, I can tell you, looking back from today's viewpoint, that I am extremely thankful for those feelings of deficiency and really defectiveness, because it gave me the most incredible insight into suicide and to where my husband was. It's one of those silver linings that you gain from whatever journey you've been on, and you look back and you go, wow, look what I've learned. I just related 100%. I got it. I totally understood it. And to this day, I understand why people take their own life. I really, truly get it. It's not a mystery to me. I don't ever go, how could they? Nothing, because I understand the place that they're at. And I feel that because of the dark times of me believing that my existence was poisonous to those around me, I learned so much and gained invaluable perspective. And so to me, they've been a gift because I can 100% relate. So when somebody says to me, I just don't understand how somebody could take their own life like that, then here's what I'm going to say. Well, then, you've never been to that place where you feel like you're just a blemish on society, where you feel completely inadequate and that you're toxic and harmful to others. You've never had that dark night of the soul. And you know what? Yay for you. That's awesome. Maybe your personality and who you are, that's just not someplace you would ever go, no matter how bad your hurt is. But I'm here to tell you, just in my personal experience and the people that I've talked to throughout my life, the vast majority of people have been to that place where they've actually thought about taking their own life. And just like I said in my journal entry, I didn't doubt God even. That wasn't it. I knew that God would bring something great out of our tragedy. I had all kinds of faith. My faith never went away. I even said that I know God was there. Didn't matter. It didn't matter. So any of you that are Christians out there and you wonder how a Christian can take their own life, it's so simple. It really comes down to the fact that I didn't have the patience to wait on him. I needed God to do something about how badly I was hurting, and I needed him to do it now. And, well, that wasn't happening. So if he isn't going to fix my pain and take it away, then I have to find a way myself to take it away. Because I'm dying anyways. So do I want to do a long, slow, painful death? Or do I want to just be relieved of the pain immediately? Kind of like ripping a Band-Aid off. And I bet money right now that as I'm talking, there are so many of you that know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're not the ones walking around saying that it's selfish. Because you get it. Okay, I'm going to digress for 1 second because I just feel like this absolutely has to be said. People that say suicide is selfish, that's a statement out of pure ignorance or complete lack of compassion. One of the two. Because anybody who has been at that level of despair understands that it's not about trying to hurt anybody. It's simply about not being able to live a breath longer with the intense amount of pain that is inside their soul. Suicide is not about love. Suicide is about pain. That's it. Pain. So please, can we change the narrative of what suicide is? Can we please continue to get educated on it and to have an open mind and an open heart and compassion for those that are hurting so desperately? Please, let's stop saying suicide is selfish. Look at the example of my journal entry. What I was doing by trying to erase myself from my kids' lives was actually selfless. I truly felt in my reality, my truth in that moment was that I was causing harm to my children. And that wasn't acceptable. So I had to find a way to take myself out of the equation so that they would not be damaged in who they were anymore. I wanted to remove myself from my kids' lives, not because I didn't care about them, not because I didn't love them, not because I wasn't thinking about what it would do to them. I wanted to take myself out of their lives because I did. It was self-sacrificing, not self-indulgent, which is an entirely different motivation than selfishness. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, I just can't stand when people think that suicide is selfish or cowardly. It's just an absolute trigger point for me. So I just want to try and do what I can to change the mindset or perspective about suicide. So, why is it that I didn't follow through in this moment in taking my own life? Well, because for me, I came up with a good backup plan. My backup plan was that I was just going to kill myself personality-wise. I was going to take Angela off the face of the earth in who Angela was in her personality. That was how I was going to save my kids while still being able to survive my pain. Now, here's the kicker. In the end, I actually never went on the antidepressants. They were sitting in my drawer. They were always there. But see, this moment when I wrote this entry on my anniversary was a very, very low moment. But as I said earlier, walking through your pain is a very emotionally inconsistent process. And the point is to be aware that your feelings and emotions are fickle, especially when you're dealing with something. So, stop, take a breath, or like in my case, write it out, or go downstairs and have a bowl of ice cream, or call a friend, or go in the bathroom and cry, or go take a drive, or whatever it is that will break your mindset or break your focus on the downward emotion that you're feeling at that particular moment. Because the moment will change. The hope for the new day is right there. So how you feel in one moment, which sure could last a few days, a few weeks, even a few months. I understand that. But it won't stay the same because you are working through your grief, your hurts, your tragedy. And that's exactly what this journal entry illustrates. Remember, because in the beginning, I kind of talk about that for a few weeks, right? I was sitting in hopes and dreams, and it was great, and that I even missed them and can feel them pulling me back to them. And then I just fell off the wagon, and I sank down to the deep levels of despair all over again, and just hit rock bottom yet again. But see, the amazing and wonderful thing about hitting rock bottom, aka yet another silver lining, is that you know there's no place to go but up. Even though you're in the biggest misery of your existence, there's something inside that you go, well, I never would have believed it was possible that shit could get this bad in life, so I might as well dream big because I ain't got nothing else. If this much bad is possible, well, hell, there has to be that much good possible too then. And that's what I started doing. I would fantasize about what my reconstructed life would look like. And that somehow it was going to look even more awesome than it did when Don was alive. Did I believe that that was achievable? Some days yeah, some days no. But on the days that I did, was literally transcendent. The hope was beaming out of me on those days. You see, dreams require you to take a chance, to walk away from what is safe and into the possibility of something profound. And believe me when I say I was definitely ready for something profound. I was going to get married again, and my marriage was going to be even more fulfilling than it was when I was married to Don, because I'm a different person now. So I'm going to be a better wife, and he's going to love my kids like they're his own. And through loving me and the kids, he's going to love Don. That somehow this new family of ours was going to be beautiful, fulfilling, healing, and restorative. That I was going to be set financially free. I would picture myself as this phoenix rising from the ashes, and that the greatness that was going to come out of our story was going to be uncontainable. That somehow this new life without Don was going to be even more incredible because of his death. Yep, I was dreaming big. It's a tall order, but like I said, I was ready for profound, for mind-blowing, for extraordinary. And I know you guys are probably thinking, well, good luck with that, Ange. Oh man, it was so fun dreaming like that. And you want to know what? I'm going to be real honest, guys. I still dream that way. Sometimes it takes a lot of work because I have to choose to have the hope of my dreams come true. And I really do go there when I'm feeling lonely or when I'm feeling sad. I believe that our dreams are always available because hope is always available. I have such hope and excitement that someday I'm going to meet the next love of my life. I don't know where he is or what's taken him so long, but I had to train myself to hold on to those dreams. And so even in that journal entry, I mentioned that I could only hold on to those dreams for a few weeks. See, the thing is this. You have to form a new behavior to choose what it is that you want to put your energy into. Do you want to put it into feeding fear or feeding your dreams? You have to choose what you want to put your mind on, because it's the same amount of energy that's going into it, but the outcome is obviously drastically different. It took me years to accomplish this. And even now, I still have negative thoughts all the time. But I've learned to stop them in their tracks and go, no, I'm still believing that my man is out there. I mean, it's been 7 years, guys. And I'm still holding hope that all those dreams I had are still going to come true. We're always going to have something or someone be the killjoy to our dreams. Most likely, it's our own selves. So in the end, we all have to decide what's it going to be. Where are you going to focus? You going to focus on fear and disappointment, or are you going to focus on your hopes and dreams? And that's what I had to learn. That's what I had to choose. That I was going to hold on to what my dreams were. And I wasn't going to let the darkness come in and snatch them away from me. So wrapping up, guys, I read from my journal to show you that sometimes you feel like you're falling into madness because your emotions are all over the place. And 1 minute you think you got something licked, the next minute, that's it, you're ready to jump off a cliff. And that's kind of what these episodes are. They've all shown that there's so many emotions and feelings and thoughts that go into trying to get through something difficult. And the point is that's normal, and that we need to be patient with ourselves as we are working through ourselves. And to remember that our feelings and emotions are fickle, and that if you just take a breath and hold on for another moment, you'll feel differently, just as I did. Because in the next moment, maybe you'll be able to see that hope. because it is there. And I want to encourage you to hold on to your dreams. Put your energy into the things that put a smile on your face. Put your energy into believing that great things can happen. No matter who you are, what you've been through, how old you are, it's available. Because hope is always available. That's just the beauty of hope. It's always there. You just have to choose it. All right, guys, that wraps her up. Thank you for being with me today, and I hope everyone has a fantastic week or so. I know for me, I am very excited because in a couple days, I finally get to get my hair done. Yay! I'm so excited. It's always the little things in life that mean the most, isn't it? Anywho, please like, share, follow, comment. I always appreciate the push forward, so maybe my story can help someone else, which is the whole reason why I do the onion peel in the first place. So with that, it's time to put this onion back in the bin until we talk again. I hope you guys have an absolutely dream-filled day.